Hello, good afternoon. I wasn't expecting this amount of people. I'm not really good doing public speaking, so um, uh, be patient with me. And I'm not a native speaker, so be also patient with me about this. I'm Raul Leva, a creative technologist working as an interactive content designer within the digital team at Royal Museums Greenwich. Let me okay, 1 second. Yeah, here we are. What you are watching now is one of my latest collaborations at the National Maritime Museum. It's a projectum mapping piece for the Pirates exhibition. For this mapping, we used 3D printed relief surface and layered animations to bring this story to life, connecting the tangible with the digital in a visually compelling way. But here's the thing. Blending physical and digital experiences doesn't always require large-scale investment in hardware or production. Sometimes, powerful connections can be made through simple, more accessible means. Let's start with a question. How many people in this room scanned a QR code in the last 24 hours? We can see a lot of people that are used to QR codes. If you remember, before 2020, QR codes were often dismissed, clunky, misunderstood, underused. But during the pandemic, they became ubiquitous. They were everywhere, from restaurant menus to test and trace apps. We all became fluent in QR code usage. For me, QR codes are not just links. For me, they are portals. I like to think as QR codes as more than a URL link. They are portals, gateways to extend stories and deeper interactions. In terms of museums, take a moment, when we are in the museum's galleries, we need to take a moment to observe how visitors behave in our museums today. You will notice that most people, they have their phones already out. They are checking messages, they are taking photos, they are posting stories. So rather than competing with that screen for attention, why not integrate this into the experience? And QR codes give us a free, low barrier way to connect physical environments with digital content. No extra screens, no expensive projectors. Sometimes all you need is a thoughtfully placed printed code. Think of QR codes as triggers for layered narratives. They can extend a story beyond the label, show, for example, a behind-the-scene video, add an augmented reality layer, offer a simple interactive game. If we reframe QR codes as storytelling tools, not just as shortcuts, they become incredibly powerful. Yeah. But here's the truth. The hardest part isn't the tech, it's the concept. The real challenge the real challenge lies in imagining the right kind of interaction. We need to ask, how do we add value, not noise? How do we respect a visitor's attention and enhance their experience without overwhelming it? Let me show a project I worked on with the Migration Museum last year. They've collected around 10,000 personal migration stories over more than a decade. They had a huge database. Until recently, visitors could only contribute new stories by writing on paper discs, as you can see in this picture. Our goal was to modernize that process, make it more accessible, searchable, and participatory. So we designed it and installed an interactive kiosk in Gallery, where visitors could explore stories and contribute their own digitally. We decided to offer two different options to get these stories from the visitors. So the first one was obviously by using the kiosk with an on-screen keyboard, so people were able to write down their stories using a touch keyboard. The second one that we wanted to try was the QR code. So visitors were able to, or are able to scan a QR code and write on their personal device. Interestingly, and this is what surprised us the most, is that those who scanned the QR code were more likely to complete their submission. That doesn't mean that more people use the QR code. It means that fewer people gave up when using their phone. Why? Because once someone scans a QR code, they are making a conscious choice to engage. The act of scanning is like signing a social contract. I want to take part. And also, physical comfort plays a big role. I don't have pictures of the surroundings of the kiosk, but this kiosk area is narrow. And typing something emotional like a migration story on a public screen with no enough space behind you can feel awkward and uncomfortable. On your phone, you are in your own space. You have your own keyboard, your autocorrect tool, your preferred language, your privacy. So QR codes don't just increase engagement. They increase emotional safety and user agency. They let visitors engage in their own terms. It's, for me, bring your own device at its best. Yeah, sorry. In the same project, we decided to use QR codes in a different for a different application for accessibility. So our kiosk included a pop-up menu with options like high contrast mode, font size adjustments, color customization, but if you can see in the image, this pop-up menu also contains a QR code. So if you scan the QR code, you can continue the experience in your own device. It's the same. This mobile version have all the same content, but it's a simplified version of the kiosk because many people have already set up their phones for their accessibility needs. They have screen readers, high contrast settings, text resizing. So instead of rebuilding all these features ourselves, we let visitors bring their own. It's not about replacing the kiosk. The kiosk is perfectly okay. It's about offering choice. We are enhancing accessibility by respecting the visitor's existing setup. So, how do we implement QR code-based solutions? As I said earlier, the biggest complexity isn't technical. You saw this project for the Migration Museum. It's not a project with a big technical complexity. The biggest difficulty is conceptual. So the best approach is, sorry, yeah, keep it simple. Start with the story. Then consider how technology can support it, not the other way around. Well, whenever possible, opt for web-based experiences. So when you decide to create an app, you are asking the visitor to download, to log in. There are frictions in this process. So web-based experiences that you can upload to a server, you don't have to overcomplicate. And the best thing is that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of free frameworks out there that we can use for our purpose, for our projects. Microsites, web pages, small web pages are the most common use for QR codes in museums. If your content is mostly text, audio, video, there is a framework. I'm going to talk about technicalities, but there is a framework called Bootstrap that it's very easy to use if you want to create a layout, a front end, that can help you build an elegant front end in no time. Think about adding more context to a label, or a label extension in a museum gallery. So this is a simple example. So you can have next to the label a QR code, and when you scan the QR code, you get more information about the artwork, about the object in display. Very easy application, and I think we all seen this application in any form. These are low-cost, high-impact enhancements, but we can push it further. If you, I think you have a paper card, a cardboard card that they gave you before starting the session. If not, I can give you one after the session. If you scan this QR code, you will see a basic AR experience. It includes a 3D model with a simple time-triggered interaction. So this is a very, very simple application created with a framework called Mind AR. But this is an example, just an example. We can push it further. This example that you can see on a screen is created by Tan Kang University Maritime Museum. So imagine that you can rotate, zoom, or interact with the object you are viewing in the case. So you can engage in a different way with this object in the gallery. Sorry. Yeah. And we can go even far beyond with real-time interactivity. And I'm going to challenge also this room because I don't know if internet works fine here, but I'm going to ask you to scan a QR code that we have on the screen. I'm testing also. Yeah. So it works because I'm seeing you interacting in real time. Let me challenge myself. Yeah. What you see here, it's a real-time interaction of all of you. It's very simple UI interface, so you can pick a color, paint a pixel, see others painting. even overwrite someone else's pixel. It's interesting to see what's happening there. Lots of noise. So one moment, because This is a very simple application. Perhaps you can imagine this in a museum setting, perhaps not. But imagine the potential of creating things with collective interaction. I'm going to give you another QR code. So one moment. Here. So if you want to try, this another QR code will bring you to another website. Oh, wow. Was fast. So if I find my mouse, sorry, as I said, I'm challenging. Yeah, wow. The idea was that it was painted in white, and you had to paint the squares to discover what's behind. But as you can see, there are lots of people here, so it's even faster than I imagined. But the idea was that this collaborative reveal revealed hidden artwork. And my idea was to ask what artwork is behind, but it's already there, so I need to ask more squares for the next presentation. So this is an example. But imagine all the uses that this kind of technology can have, like a digital voting wall, live comment stream. So the possibilities for collective interaction in gallery spaces are wide open. Now I need to find my mouse again. Okay, so this is the end of my presentation. In conclusion, crafting interactive experiences isn't about using cutting-edge tech. It's about using smart ideas, thoughtfully applied. QR codes and bring your own device aren't just gimmicks. They are bridges between physical and digital, between static exhibits and dynamic storytelling. Let's make the most of the tools we already have to connect museums with today's mobile-first audiences. If you're thinking about QR codes, interactive storytelling, or bring your own strategies into your next project, let's talk. Do you have any questions? Thank you. Sorry.
I can't hear myself. There we go. No, thank you for that. This has always been something that's kind of interesting to me, but I've always had a real concern about digital poverty because I've always worked with kind of low-income audiences and things like that. So I wonder what you thought about digital poverty being a barrier of entry that is created by something like this.
Well, it's a good question. Nowadays, most of the people have a smartphone, but in the case that we want to provide the experience to all our visitors, I think it's necessary to have smartphones or tablets available in gallery. So I think it's, and for this kind of applications, it's very important also to have in consideration BEs, so they can help people, they can provide these tablets, they can guide. So I think it's something that we need to have in consideration. And I think the easier way to ensure that it's accessible to everyone is to provide tablets or mobile phones, perhaps tablets or phablets, when the visitor is starting the visitor journey.
Any other questions?
Well, it's all clear.
I've got a question, if I may.
Yeah.
It's about the people choosing to. It was the Migration Museum, wasn't it? And you said that people are more likely to continue with it to complete the form, to add their story. Do you know over what time that is? I mean, do people do it straight away, or do people basically go home and give themselves more time to complete that? Or I don't know whether you have that knowledge, but I just wondered.
That's a very interesting question, because one of the things that we try to prevent is people accessing the kiosk or the interaction from home. So the QR code is one-time URL. So you are supposed to do this in gallery. But regarding this thing of more people engaging or finishing the process, the interesting thing is that when using QR codes or their own mobiles, their own devices, the kind of story that you can get is more useful, because it's more stance. It looks like people decided to take their time to write down. They felt perhaps more comfortable with the keyboard. So the stories from people's devices are more useful than the stories written down on the kiosk. So they are shorter in the kiosk. Most of them are just letters or even stories that not related with migration. Hello, I'm here.
Yeah.
This kind of thing. But when you, as I said, when you use your own device, you're committed to the interaction. So moderation is easier using bring your own device.
Thank you. Question at the back there.
Hi, thank you for that talk. I have a question which kind of follows on from your question, which is that this opens up a new possibility, which is experiences that start within the museum, but then they can extend and carry on to the people's homes, right? Because once you have that QR code scanned, that link already exists on your phone. So I was just wondering if you had any examples about any such sort of initiatives, or how do you see that museums can leverage the capacity to extend the period of interaction from even beyond when they're outside of the museum?
I was 2 weeks ago in Dubai visiting the Museum of the Future, and they just developed an app that works with gamification, Optalis gamification. So the purpose of this app is to collect elements into the galleries so you can review afterwards at home, so you don't get overwhelmed with the huge amount of information that you can get in this museum. I think providing this kind of tools that you can use afterwards, you can consult whenever you want. I think it's one of the powers that you have with Bring Your Own Device, because it's something that you can continue at home. You can do completely the opposite if you don't want to have this information available. It can happen that you don't want people accessing for security reasons or copyrights, I don't know. So you can prevent also this by using, as I said, one-time URLs that they have an expiry time, or you can use even GPS coordinates, I don't know. But as I said, I think the possibilities of what you can do from home afterwards, I think it's something great. And the Museum of the Future did something very, very interesting in terms of consulting all this information afterwards. Thanks.
Any further questions? Over here. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to, for context, I work in a museum that is located in a 16th century palace, and they have really big, thick stone walls where the cell phone signal is barely accessible, and it is unbearably expensive to have Wi-Fi all over the museum. So in cases where we cannot have the cell phone signal or Wi-Fi internet taken for granted, how, if is there a possibility to have these low-cost, high-engagement activities in places where we cannot have these things for granted? Thank you.
Well, that's a very good question. It was one of the challenges for my talk because I didn't know if internet was going to work here. So in the end, it worked. So QR codes need internet. That's the fact. Without internet, you're not going to be able to open. You can have some kind of information, but not in this degree of complexity. So internet is needed. But if you want to create something low cost without internet, well, perhaps you can consider providing, as I said, tablets to the public, so all this information is contained inside, or asking people to download before the visit. It doesn't have to be an app, so it can be just simply a URL, so you can access while visiting. But yeah, it's one of the things that you have to consider when creating something with QR codes or NFT tags, that you need to provide. You need to have internet in the room, or if not, you need to provide Wi-Fi connection.
Any other questions? I think that's it. Thanks, Frau.
Thank you.